Hi, I'm Eliza, and today I'll be showing you some different charts and diagrams and asking you some questions in order to investigate your visual perception. Okay, it will make sense as we get into it, and I'll also be taking some notes. Okay, so let's dive straight in with the first page. So this here is the first page. So as you can see, we have 12 circles of the same color. How would you group these circles together, these shapes? Do you feel like each circle is its own individual thing? Would you maybe want to group them row by row or column by column? Or maybe you would like to group them all together as one big group? Okay. And on the next page, once again, we have 12 identical circles, each of the same color, but this time there is a space between them, and they're a little bit further apart. How would you want to group these now? Okay. You feel like these would be one group and these would be another group? Okay. Wonderful. The next page. Now we have 6 circles of one color and 6 circles of another color, and they're close together, just like in the first picture that I showed you, where they're all in one group. Once again, these circles are just next to each other, but they're a different color. How would you want to group these objects? You would want to group them by color, the orange ones together and the blue ones together. Okay. And do you feel like the relationship between this group and this group is the same or different as the relationship between this group and this group? In other words, is the information conveyed in this diagram the same or different as the information conveyed here? Okay. Great, thank you. The next page I would like to show you. Now we have 3 blue, 3 orange, 3 blue, 3 orange. Or if you look at the columns like this, we have blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. How would you want to group these shapes? Would you group each line by itself? Would you group the blue and the blue, the orange and the orange? Would you group them all together? Would you say no, each 12 circle is its own unique circle? How would you want to group and classify these circles? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great, thank you. Next, I would like to show you this page. Now, this page is much like this one, except with this page, one of the lines is blue. How would you want to group these objects, these shapes? Would you say this is one group and this is one group? Would you say the blue is its own thing, this orange is its own thing, and these ones are a group? Would you say blue together and orange together? How do you want to group these shapes? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, does it make a difference in your grouping, seeing it like this compared to seeing it like this? Here, the blue circles break up the orange, but it's still the same amount of blue, the same amount of orange. There's still the space in between. Does this make you want to group them any differently? How would you group them now? Okay. Thank you. Now we're on to the next page. Okay, so on this page we have 9 identical circles and we have 3 triangles of the same color. How would you group these objects? Would you group them all together? Would you group the circles together and the triangles together? Okay, great. Wonderful. Next, I would like you to take a look at this page. Here we have 9 circles and 3 triangles. How would you group them now? Okay. So would you group the triangles separately to the circles? Would you group the circles and the triangles here together and these circles together? Okay. And do you think the relationship between the groups on this page is the same or different to the relationship between the groups on this page? So on this page we have a row of blue circles, whereas this page we have a row of orange triangles. Do you think the information conveyed about the relationship between these shapes is the same, whether they are orange triangles or blue circles? Or do you think this is telling you something different? Okay. Wonderful, thank you. Next, I would like to have a look at this page. So here we have 12 identical circles once again, and we have this pale blue rectangle overlapping with some of the circles. How would you want to group these shapes? Okay, so the blue rectangle makes you want to single out these 6 circles, is that correct? Okay, now looking at this page, once again we have the 12 circles and a pale blue rectangle. How would you want to group these shapes? Now maybe you would want to group these 2 groups, one group here, one group here, but there is something in common with these. Maybe you want to group these 4 by themselves and these 8. Maybe these 2 and these 4, 2 and 4. What is the relationship that you would like to apply to these shapes? Okay, great. Wonderful, thank you. Next, on this page, we have some circles, some orange circles, some blue circles, and some orange triangles. How would you like to group these shapes? Maybe you would group the orange things together, maybe the orange circles together, maybe the triangles by themselves or the blue circles by themselves. How would you group these shapes? Okay. And if you had to say what is more similar? The blue circle and the orange circle, or the orange circle and the orange triangle? Do you feel like these are more similar or these are more similar if you had to choose? Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Next, we once again have some orange circles, some blue circles, some orange triangles. There is also this space in between them now. How would you want to group these shapes? Would you group the blue together, the orange together, the things closer together with the things closer together? Maybe this is one group and this is one group, but there are differences within each group. What do you think is the relation between these shapes? Okay, great. Thank you. Next, we have the same shapes, blue circles, orange triangles, and we also have some lines between them now. So how would you want to group together these shapes? Would you want to group together the blue circles and the orange circles together? Or would you want to group this one with this one? Because they're connected with the line. Would you group the orange circles all together, the orange triangles together? Or would you group them by the lines? How would you group these shapes? Okay. Great, thank you. And what about now? Once again, some of the shapes are connected with lines. We also have orange ones, blue, and the orange triangles. How would you group these shapes? Okay. And let me just find my other comparing these two pages. What are the differences in the relationship between these shapes? Okay. Thank you very much for those responses. I have a few more pages that I would like you to look at. So, looking at this page now, I would like you to look at the dot that's just here. I'll hold it a little closer so that you can see. And if I asked you to start here and trace the line with your eyes, how would you trace the line? Okay. Would you go like that? And if I told you to start here, where would you go? Like that. Okay. And if I showed you this one now, I'll bring it closer. And I asked you to start here. Would you follow it like this and like this? Or would you maybe see it like this and like this? How would you follow these lines now? Okay. Great, thank you. And looking at these lines, once again, if I told you to start here with this dot and to trace the line, where would you go? Maybe straight up like this, okay? And if I told you to start here and trace the line, where would you go? Okay. Okay. And if I told you to look at these lines, if I told you to start at the top here and to trace the line, where would you go? Would you go straight down like this? Or would you follow the same colour and follow it like this? I'll bring it closer so you can see. Okay. And starting here, if I told you to start here, where would you go? Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So that is the end of our investigation today. Thank you so much for coming in and participating. Your responses are really valuable and I appreciate it very much. So I will leave you now to rest and relax, and I will invite you back in for part 2 of this investigation. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.